Hi, this is Harry from iShow Korea. Today I'm going to talk about quite interesting topic, which is why Korean people aren't getting married. Recently, I shared very quite shocking news, which is in the entire population of the Korean in their 20s, only 4% are getting married. It means 96% of the in their 20s are not getting married. Even for the 30s, less than half, 50% people are getting married. Think about that. Almost half population of the Korean, they are not getting married until their age turn 40s. Just look around circle my friends, I think less than 10% of my male friends get married in their 20s. As far as I know, our country's birth rate is hovering around 0.65%, which is lower than half OECD countries' average, 1.5%. It's not just like individual choices, but it's crucial social crisis our society is facing. If we continue this kind of situation for a long time, maybe our country will be disappear. A lot of the experts say Korea will be the first country that disappear in the world. And if you want to know about this situation deeply, I will upload the link and check this video. Anyway, why Korean young age giving up their marriage? Today, let's dive into the fundamental reason about that. First reason, the biggest barrier is money. It's not secret the biggest obstacle is money. A recently study highlights this very correctly. Among men in their 40s, in the highest income bracket, where 91% people are married, but for the men in the lowest income bracket, that was only 47%. Sadly, it seems like the marriage has, in a way, become a certificate or indicator of the financial stability. I think that's because most people think they need to meet a certain condition to get married. Otherwise, they are not want to get married. Conditions like they are having their own house to raise the children and getting enough salary to support their education properly. Of course, their desire is not fault and hard to blame, but the thing is, very few people can meet these conditions. Actually, the average price of the apartment in Seoul is 1 billion won. With a loan restriction, we need at least 30% of the amount of money in cash, so we need 300 million won in cash for down payment. Let's just assume you save 2 million won every month. It will take 50 months, so it's more than 4 years. The problem is living in Seoul's expenses easily exceeding more than 2 million won, and average salary in Korea for Korean people is 3 million won. So actually, saving 1 million won every month is not also that easy. And if we save 1 million won every month, it will take around 9 years. Just saving 100 million won is that much difficult. However, we can imagine to save 300 million won. To having a certain amount of capital is not easy unless you are really good at investing or getting help from parents. Of course, if you are not living in Seoul, the situation is much better because the apartment price is normally less than half of that compared to Seoul. But almost half people of our population is living in Seoul or nearby the city, like Gyeonggi-do. And more people want to living in Seoul and try to escape from the regional or suburb area. And it doesn't stop there. Korea has an infamously hyper-competitive private education market. Hagwon or private academies, it seems like a must choice because everyone else doing this. The statistics said it can cost more than 400 million won can be needed just for raising the one child to throwing the university. When can we barely afford to having a home? How can you afford to invest that amount of money per child? That's the reason a lot of the young couple are hesitant to getting married or have kids because it requires a massive sacrifice and is too big burden. And second reason is late start in life. Like I said, young people don't even have time to save money, absolutely. That's because they start into their career so late. Korean men have a mandatory military service. More than 70% of the Korean people go to university. Plus, the job market is so competitive now. They spend years and years just preparing to get a job. they graduating. As a result, the average age for the first time employee is 30 now. Think about that. 20 years ago, average men got married at 30s, but nowadays it's time to start their career. By the time they have saved some money and finally can think about the marriage, their age is already mid-30s. The average age of the marriage has shaped exactly 4 years. It means perfectly mirroring the delay in the start of your career. When men are finally financially ready, but thing is they are looking for some women who is in 20s. This leaves a lot of the women in the earlier to mid 30s in a difficult situation in the marriage market. Plus, women have a biological limitation for having a baby. Naturally, it contributes to the decline of the birth rate. And this imbalance pushed the average age of the marriage even higher. This is kind of the situation. Let's imagine you're a woman in 30, and when you look around the men around you, a similar age, normally they are not, seems like they're getting not ready financially, so you are waiting. But when they started to get ready financially and think about the marriage, they are not looking at you and they are looking for some younger women. This kind of things commonly happen here. So what's the cause of all this problem? If we assume the financial is a core issues, all the men should start their career no later than 26. But it's not that simple problem, because most of the company prefer to hire experienced people than the people you just graduate from the university. I think it's a global symptom, because company want the people they can use the right way in the field, because it need too many time and money and effort to educate the new employee. It doesn't mean that it's shortage of the job, because still a lot of the industry are desperately looking for workers. But the problem is that normally they offer the low wages and poor job working condition, so job seekers are avoiding them, and they are normally hoping for a coveted spot at a conglomerate like Samsung or Hyundai. The problem is they hire very small people, and their new recruit site is very limited, so the supply is always over and more than the needed. Of course, you could just get married without being financially ready. But is it really the ideal case? Because it's natural the parents the instinct to provide a good environment to their children, and also like we so many bad example like the irresponsible parents who abandon their baby in the bad situation, and it's really misery situation. But I think if we truly want to get married, we need to give up something. We cannot start with perfect from day one. The key is find a partner who can share your values honestly, and started to build a finance together. And then when we feel to start to get ready and we need to and financially a little bit stable, then we can buy a whole house or start a family. The government has introduced many policies like loan support for newlywed, but they haven't had a noticeable effect yet. Korea has a lot of history of overcoming incredible crises like colonization and Korean War and IMF bailout, which is economic collapse. So I think we have a kind of the resilience spirit in our DNA. You cannot solve a problem when you don't recognize, but everyone aware about this situation. So I think in the future we can find some solution anyway. Is your country struggling with this similar situation like us? Please write down what you think in the comment below. Thank you for watching today, and see you next time. Bye bye.